Startup survival, when $8 million disappears overnight. Hey everyone, today I'm diving into a wild ride, how a startup named PlantSwitch stayed alive after losing $8 million in venture capital, overnight. Imagine waking up to find your $8 million funding deal has evaporated. That's exactly what happened to Dylan Baxter, co-founder of PlantSwitch, a Texas-based startup making eco-friendly cutlery and packaging. In mid-2022, with capital markets tightening, their backers suddenly pulled out. This wasn't just a bump in the road, it was a potential knockout punch. Did you know? According to PitchBook, global venture capital investment dropped over 35% in 2023 compared to the previous year. Yikes. This has put many startups, especially those in climate-focused sectors, in a precarious position. So, how did PlantSwitch react? Baxter sprang into action. First, he halted all discretionary spending. Next, hiring was paused. Then, he got on the phone, urgently contacting alternative investors. This wasn't a time for months of planning, it was improvisation mode. Instead of folding, they managed to raise $1 million in bridge funding from existing stakeholders and private angel investors. This emergency round bought them a few critical months, allowed continued order fulfillment, and helped cut operational expenses. According to Harvard Business Review, companies with adaptive leadership and rapid decision-making models are far more likely to survive abrupt funding shocks. So what can other startups learn from this? First, prioritize liquidity and keep a wide pool of capital partners. Baxter didn't just rely on main investors, he reached out to former contacts and even customers, framing the bridge round as a mission-critical opportunity to keep sustainable alternatives to plastic alive. Second, speed is crucial. The ability to respond within 24 hours is critical. A study by CB Insights found that the #1 reason startups fail is running out of cash. Once a deal collapses, the death spiral can begin quickly. You don't have time to form a committee. You need to have already rehearsed the fire drill, says Steve Blank, startup expert and author of the Startup Owner's Manual. Are green startups more vulnerable to funding swings? Yes. Companies focused on sustainability often face longer paths to profitability. When interest rates surged in 2023, climate tech was one of the hardest hit sectors. So, did the strategy work? Despite the funding fallout, PlantSwitch scaled back operations just enough to survive, adopted a leaner operating model, reduced production costs by 25%, and leveraged smaller purchase orders to prove traction to new investors. According to TechCrunch, many founders are rethinking traditional grow-at-all-cost strategies in favor of sustainable scaling. So what can other founders learn from Dylan Baxter? Don't rely on a single deal, always have backup capital options. Communicate transparently. Baxter kept staff, vendors, and stakeholders in the loop from day one. Reassess metrics quickly, shift from growth KPIs to margin metrics immediately. Lean into the mission. The urgency to build alternatives to plastic helped align short-term sacrifices with long-term values. That's all for today. If you found this useful, hit that like button and subscribe for more startup survival stories. Stay agile, stay resilient.